Hi everyone, my name's Dr. Charlotte Webb and I'm here to tell you about the new MA Internet Equalities course which is launching at the CCI this October. And I'm here because I've had the honour and opportunity to develop this course over the last year or so with colleagues from the CCI as well as industry experts, academics and people from government. And it's been the culmination of the work I've been doing over the last 3 years as co-founder of Feminist Internet, which is a collective that aims to make the internet more equal by combining art and design, technology development and feminism. And working in that space, it's become increasingly clear over the last few years that there's an urgent need to study the relationships between technologies and inequalities at a high level and to develop practices and theories and methods and tools to push back against those inequalities. So that's why this course exists, and we're going to be running a series of live sessions over the next 3 weeks or so where we have some fantastic guest speakers coming to dig a bit deeper into the content of the units. So if you want to go a bit deeper than I'm going to go into today, please do join us for those sessions. For now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the CCI and then give you an overview of what this course involves. The CCI opened in September 2019, so we're very new, but we've already evolved a really rich community of people who are all working at the intersection of computer science, technology development and creativity. We are part of the University of the Arts London, which is a global leader in creative art and design education. We offer innovative new courses in interdisciplinary teaching, research and knowledge exchange opportunities, and a public programme for exploration at the intersection of technology and creativity. The CCI is based in Camberwell, which is a really interesting and diverse part of London, and we're in a new building that's very well equipped for the work that we're doing. Importantly, we aim to integrate the emerging discipline of creative computing with approaches to fairness and equality for the UAL community as well as wider society. This aim is formally codified through our social mission, which focuses on diversity in technology, digital inclusion and entrepreneurship. Everyone at the CCI is committed to the social mission through the day-to-day working of the Institute, but it's also strongly manifested by this new MA, which explores the various ways that social inequalities and structures of oppression are embedded in and perpetuated by internet technologies. On this course, students will be actively working to oppose discrimination in technosocial systems and exploring how those systems can be reorganised or challenged through critical and creative practice. So let's have a look at the structure of the course. It's a one-year programme running from October 2020 to December 2021. The course is broken into 4 terms, as you can see in this diagram. In the first term, there'll be 3 parallel units: intersectional internets, methods for equitable technology development, and feminist coding practices. The Intersectional Internets unit gives a theoretical orientation for the course, so we'll be looking at frameworks such as intersectional critical race technology studies, digital feminism, queer theory and post-colonial science and technology studies, and how these provide different lenses for understanding power and the internet. We'll be looking at intersecting forms of oppression such as racism, sexism and colonialism, and how creative and activist practices can push back against structures of oppression. The Methods for Equitable Technology Development unit gives a more methodological foundation for the course, so we'll be looking at approaches like social and participatory design, various approaches to human-computer interaction, digital ethnography and design justice, and students will test some of these methods in class and through independent creative practice and writing. The Feminist Coding Practices unit will give students some foundational computing skills, but frame them in feminist terms. So that means foregrounding the ways women have been fundamentally involved throughout the history of computing, ensuring coding isn't seen as something only for men and boys, encouraging technical fluency, and understanding the internet and computing as an embodied practice. Students will be working on things like creating text-driven audio applications, maybe some Twitter bots, implementing and modifying simple databases, experimenting with algorithms, and exploring data and digital methods. In the second term, students have two options. They'll be able to choose Designing for Responsible Innovation or Computational Inequalities. Computational inequalities is about exploring the inequalities and biases that can exist in computational systems and the data they're trained on, whether they are facial recognition systems, biometrics, recruitment, or perhaps predictive policing algorithms. Students will have the chance to explore creative ways to reimagine these systems, and the tutors will guide students in this process. This unit also explores alternative, crowdsourced, and open forms of data and their potential in equitable technology development. It will be quite practical and hands-on, and hopefully a lot of fun. The Designing for Responsible Innovation unit is about exploring the histories, practices, and social and economic cases for responsible innovation and its role in building a more equitable society. When we say responsible innovation, we're talking about innovation that's democratic, equitable, and sustainable. This unit will also address workplace equality. Students will learn about strategies of change, including social and political entrepreneurship, activism, and grassroots organisation, and develop a proposal for an organisation, project, or other intervention that uses a responsible innovation approach to address a social inequality. Whilst all that's happening, students will also be learning about human rights and computation. This is the longest of the units, running over a full 20 weeks. This unit is about the roles of technology companies, governments, regulators, civil society, and the law in protecting human rights, including freedom of expression, privacy, and safety on the internet. So students will be looking at online human rights violations, internet legislation and regulation, data protection and privacy. Students will also explore how artists, activists, and civil society have developed countermeasures to tackle human rights violations in online spaces and design their own activist project that advocates for the protection or enhancement of human rights as they relate to the internet. The final taught unit is Platform Potentials, which focuses on the role of internet platforms, cultures, and communities in bringing about social change. Students will hear from artists, activists, and initiators of online and offline movements and examine current practices of online community empowerment, collective resistance, subversion, and activism. They'll explore tactics and goals of internet activism, look at successful movements, and learn strategies to develop their own coordinated actions. After that, and over the rest of the course, students will develop a final major project and write an associated thesis addressing an internet equality. This is really their chance to dig deep into whatever's become most interesting on the course and whatever resonates with their own practice. Students will create a project proposal prior to the summer break so we can agree on the creative and social ambitions of their projects. The course team will support students in developing a plan that has significant waypoints and feedback or testing stages. And team projects will be actively encouraged at this point too. So that's an overview of the units. Overall, the teaching and learning methods on the course are quite varied, so there will be lectures and seminars, critiques and visits, class-based workshops and assignments, group work and peer learning, individual and group tutorials, as well as presentations. And there are a range of assessment types as well, including critical writing in the form of blog posts, portfolio work, individual and group presentations and projects, as well as, of course, the thesis. And throughout the course, students will often collaborate and support their peers on the learning journey. The final course team will be formally announced later in summer, but you'll be taught by current teaching staff at the CCI, including myself, as well as a range of associate and guest lecturers, including Hera Hussein, Asmina Jodia, and Caroline Cinders. The culture at the CCI is very open, collaborative, and interdisciplinary, and students will have access to staff with a wide range of expertise and disciplinary backgrounds. The ethos of the course is about attending to the lived experiences, histories, theories, and practices of a diverse range of people, and participants will see this reflected in the reading list, the lectures, and the course content. So, how to apply? We are a community of, and in solidarity with, people from every gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, race, ethnicity, language, neurotype, size, ability, class, religion, culture, subculture, political opinion, age, skill level, occupation, and background. We welcome applications from anyone that can demonstrate critical knowledge of and enthusiasm for the subject and a well-articulated rationale for joining the course, and there are no coding skills required to take part. So to make an application, you can visit the course page using the link on this slide, and when you get there, follow the apply button. You'll need to complete an online form and provide a CV and personal statement. And the link is also in the description below, so you can follow it from there as well. Applications are accepted throughout the year, but early application is advised, so I'd encourage you to go for it sooner rather than later if you are interested. So thank you very much for listening. You can type questions in the chat below and I'll answer as much as I can during this session, or you can email me on the address here, or you can join the live online sessions coming up in the next few weeks, and details about those are also in the description below. So that's it. Thank you again, and see you on the internet.